What is the number one overlooked sin in the entire Bible? I mean, what is the one sin that you've probably never heard a sermon on before in your entire life? Just think about that for a second. Any guesses? We hear about pride, sexual sin, lying, stealing, cheating, killing, and all of that, but none about this one. So what's the sin I'm referring to? It's gluttony. But you may be wondering, first off, what is gluttony? Let's go ahead and define it real quick. According to vocabulary.com, gluttony is characterized by a limitless appetite for food or drink and overindulgence to the point where one is no longer eating just to live, but rather living to eat. But just in case that's not good enough, let's see what the Bible has to say about it. Proverbs chapter 23, verses 19 to 21 says, "Listen, my son, and be wise, and set your heart on the right path. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor and drowsiness clothe them in rags." That's not all. Philippians chapter 3 verse 19 says, "Their destiny is destruction, for their God is their stomach, and their glory is in their shame. Their mind is set on earthly things." There are many more verses on this, but the first thing that we want to point out is that gluttony is a sin in the eyes of God. And the reason why is because it gives high priority to our physical desires and our flesh being in control. Oh, and you thought that you had to be fat or overweight to be gluttonous? Here's a truth bomb for you. The sin of gluttony is a heart issue. When you choose to go to food for comfort, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you're making food an idol in your heart above God. You're saying, "God, I trust this food to comfort me more than I trust you." That's the real reality of it. You're giving in to the flesh and giving in to consistent sin by eating for pleasure and comfort instead of fuel and nutrients. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the physical body looks like, even though chances are that a gluttonous life will lead to an overweight life. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But what really bothers me, though, is that far too often I see overweight ministers preaching from the pulpit on Sunday morning, potentially doing everything right in order to live a righteous life. But when they leave church on Sunday afternoon, they commit sin with a fork and a knife. What good is it to have control of your flesh in all these other areas? But when it comes to food, you just ignore it like somehow it's normal. Let me tell you something. Just because our culture is surrounded by food, that doesn't give you a free pass to overeat. And I know that some people have certain medical conditions that make them put on weight. I get that. But let's be real, this is really just a fraction of us. It's time to stop with the excuses and really get to the root of this. So here's a simple definition of gluttony that may really help you. Gluttony is the bite over. So when does eating become a sin? When you take that next bite over the line that you know you shouldn't take, simply because it's trying to fill a void in here. And remember, food is absolutely a blessing from God in order to give us fulfillment and enjoyment in life, because food is awesome. But we have to keep our stomachs in check. And by stomachs, I mean our hearts. I'm guessing that this video showed up on your page for a reason. Therefore, do me a favor by hitting the follow button. And also, don't forget to like and share to help us reach a broader audience. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Amen.